I love these virtual meetings. I'd rather see you all in person, but I guess that's just the way things are. So I'll call the meeting to order. I'm looking at the agenda. Do we have any public comments at all?
No, did not receive any.
But by the by, that being the case, since we, how do you get public comments?
It's streamed live on YouTube, and so they can comment there, and then we can take any comments from there.
Rob's off his phone. He's in full HD now.
Except no.
But he's still muted.
Got me now?
Yeah, we do. Okay. Let's do the minutes from last time. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at them?
Yeah, I didn't even see any syntax errors, but I probably missed something.
The only thing I would add is, didn't we do the election of officers? Should that be in the minutes?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was looking for syntax errors.
Well, yeah.
not seeing the forest for the trees.
Can we do that?
Oops.
Officers, who needs officers? Jesus. Yeah, that should be in the minutes. And so we can amend the minutes to include that, I'm assuming, Sammy.
Yes, we will.
Anything else? I had some questions based on stuff we did in the last time, but I'll save those to the librarian and talk about them. So hearing no other additions to the minutes, assuming those will be added, do I have a motion to accept them?
Make a motion to accept them, James.
Second, Robert.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, cool. Circulation reports. Again, we have 2 pages of them. There's page 2, which is a condensed one. And then I got a couple of blank pages, but then we have page 5 and 6, with 5 being some updates from July that we didn't have for things that were discarded. So why don't we start with page 2? Does anybody have any comments there about the stuff on page 2? Sammy, I have a question.
Yes.
We have a gate count and a total monthly visitors account. What's the difference between those two? How do we?
Our gate count, and then we had 4 more people come in to use the Myrtlewood room.
Okay. I was going to ask you about items checked out in the library, but I noticed you had that in your librarian's report too. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay.
We can maybe talk about it. We can talk about it there. Anything else on page 2? I just had one other question, since I know we have people coming into the library now on a couple of days a week for a little bit. Are any of the other libraries in the county doing that? Are they actually allowing people in the library?
North Bend is. I'm not sure about Powers. Dora is. Myrtle Point is. I think that's it right now.
Are they using restricted time? The format for opening, is this pretty much the same as ours, Sammy, or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of them have by appointment. You can make an appointment to come in. Some have, like hours like we do. It's kind of a variety of things.
Thank you.
Seems like appointments would be tough to handle. You spend a lot of time scheduling appointments.
Like appointments are happening in Dora where they don't have as big of a population. So.
Or library. Okay.
So This is Rob. So are you maxing out your available time slots for browsing?
Some days it gets pretty close. What do we have?
64 yesterday.
Yesterday, but people are really good about knowing that to kind of get in and get out and not linger too long. So we have a little bit of line usually in the beginning, but I think we haven't had much past that, as far as people having to wait a real long time. So,
Tammy, on the Zoom meetings were logged several during the month. What do those generally cover? Are they about getting computer help or what?
Usually, yeah, it's usually help with computer stuff.
Okay. Does that work well, as far as you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as a person can at least get into their email, then they can click on the link and get further help from there.
Okay.
Okay. Anything on page 5, which is the July report, but they added the discards, which we didn't have last time.
Yeah, we got a report fixed. So.
Assuming nothing, then page 6 is the August report.
Sammy, just when I looked at these numbers, like the number of the gate count, which I'm assuming that we kind of report to the state.
Yes, that's one of the questions they ask us on our state report is a gate count question.
Well, I'm sure that every library in the state is going to be in the same boat we are in that sense. So I just like for you to make a note somewhere, which I'm sure you already have, that when they do these things and the legislature looks at how the libraries do things, then they look at average numbers for the year and the previous years, and something all of a sudden everything's down. So I hope they would understand that. But statistics are funny that way.
Oh yeah.
So this year is definitely an outlier.
Oh yes.
In terms of statistics, and generally speaking, if you have a voice in those things, then I would ask that when you talk to the Oregon Library Association or whoever we're talking to in this regard, that you voice your concerns about it and make sure that they understand that this clearly is an outlier and should not be included in the state's funding formula.
Well, the state actually doesn't fund us at all. I mean, there's no money tied to that state report at the end of the year. It's an informational report, not only for the state, but it feeds into a larger national report, just for general library knowledge across the nation. And in fact, the gentleman at the state library who runs that particular program has already made accommodations in there for different types of questions than normal due to COVID. So,
all right, thank you.
And James, I think the impact on particular libraries would depend a lot upon where that library is.
Sure.
In county, we were fortunate because we went to phase 2 fairly early. That some of the people around Multnomah and Marion counties, for example, were in phase 1 forever. So they probably couldn't even open their libraries in a restricted manner like we've been able to do. So yeah. I would bet their numbers are just terrible, to tell you the truth.
Because they look at those things as a ratio, so the rate or the ratio of change is much larger for us than it would be for them, except they're probably pretty close to zero. So,
I don't know, we may be losing Bob again. Oh, there, I saw those eyes open up.
But the nice part, I guess the nice part, if you want to phrase it that way, is that it is nationwide. So all of the libraries, all of their statistics will be way down.
All right. Skewness is one of those things. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions on page 6? I noticed circulation's about the same as it was the previous month, holding at around 9,000 or so.
Actually, it's a little up. It's creeping up.
Okay. So,
Ever so
I still don't know a lot of people are aware of the open hours and the ability to put books on hold and stuff. But I don't know what you do about that.
Well, we do have ads running on television, on the radio, digitally, and then our social media. So,
And the reader board.
and the reader board.
Yeah.
And it's on the web homepage for the
yeah.
Coos Library. Yeah.
Yep.
So by looking at this, it appears that most of the items are checked out in person. Is that why the checked out items are so much lower?
The checked out at Coos Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this count here is physical items. So
Oh.
this doesn't
But I
include
think
the
Rob's
digital
question
stuff.
is, how are they getting them? And I think it's a combination of curbside, mail out, and coming into the library still, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And with only 400 some people coming into the library, I would imagine that most of it's still curbside and mail out, the majority.
We have a lot of curbside still, and a decent amount of mailing. That's dropped off quite a bit, but there's still quite a few people who are 100% mail. And then we have our 2 spots that we do it on Fridays at the 2 outlying fire stations, which are starting to catch on. So.
And is that curbside there too?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's truck side. Vehicle side.
Put a
Hey,
gate out
Sammy?
there and make them walk through it.
Yeah.
So, Sammy, in terms of people walking in during the limited hours, have you had any issues whatsoever regarding people who don't want to wear masks or upset about that stricture on their freedom to be inconsiderate and stupid?
Well, I don't know about that, but there's only
Thanks
been
for
a
holding
couple
back,
people.
Steve.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
There's been a couple people who haven't wanted to, but for the most part, people have been very good about following the rules.
Okay. The only reason I asked was I was down at one of the local restaurants picking up takeout a week ago, and somebody started to come unglued about having to wear a mask before he could be there to place his order. And the serving person just said, look, go outside and call us. We'll bring it out to you, but you can't stand here without a mask. And he walked out then. Not a happy camper, but at least he didn't start coming unglued any further. But yeah, so thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nothing else on page 6. I guess we've morphed our way into treasurer's report. You'll notice there's no budget report this month because the officers that we didn't elect last time didn't do their job. Or the city hasn't provided any budget numbers, Rob.
Get on.
They'll come in as soon as we're done with the meeting. That's how that works.
Yeah, so we don't have any budget numbers for the city, but we do have the memorial funds checking account report. So why don't you take a look at that and see if anything sparks your interest.
As you can see, most of our spending is on, programs still.
You know, Sammy, I've been on the library board for a long time, off and on, and I guess I've never asked this question. What determines something comes out of the memorial funds as opposed to what gets billed to the general library fund? And I understand some things like Dolly Parton and stuff are dedicated, but for example, Amazon portable CD player for Library of Things.
That, well, it depends. Like a lot of times those memorials will have some sort of stipulation with them, which we can only spend on. Like the Keniston and the Malik are large print and audio only. So that's what's spent out of those. Care Connections was a specific grant for a specific purpose. That money, let's get down here. Well, like the Eagles large print obviously is for large print stuff. And then we receive money from a grant for the Dolly Parton project, and that's what is listed there. So otherwise most of that stuff, most of the distributions, unless it's specifically from one of those memorials, just comes out of general donation funds, usually the Friends money.
Well, I see general fund. We've got about $10,669 there. My question is, how do we determine it comes out of that general memorial fund versus coming out of the library's regular budget, the tax base that they get?
Oh, well,
I mean, is there any criteria, or we just do it however it comes up?
well, like for instance, when we buy, we tend to spend some of that large print money out of the memorials first. Or it kind of depends on the budget year too, which one gets spent first, and how much. Sometimes if there's an exceptional amount of large print we want to buy, we tap into both sources.
Okay.
So does that general fund money just carry over if you don't spend it?
Correct. Yep.
A lot of the general fund money is money that a person has specifically donated in somebody else's name. And there's a lot of different ones still that we have that, as Christina and Michaela need to buy things, they'll look there to see if they've specified gardening books or whatever. A lot of that comes out of that general.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the other general fund. I'm sorry.
No, the general
Yeah.
memorial fund.
Yes. A lot of those are smaller little.
Yeah.
Crystal did a much better job explaining than I did.
All right. Any other questions on the memorial funds checking account? Hearing none. Do we have any correspondence at all, Sammy?
No, we don't.
Okay. No one loves us. Librarians report.
And hates us.
So, yeah. The only thing I haven't included, which I just got news of, let me just find the correct amount before I say it. I just received notification today that we received some pass-through money from the state library, the tune of, let's see, $13,043. It's money that's going to go towards, it has to be applied towards things like Wi-Fi hotspots, laptops, extending Wi-Fi, video conferencing software, and things like that. We received that grant through the state library, and we're going to put together laptop and hotspot kits to be checked out by people. For instance, I received a phone call from one of the students in the school district who wanted to know about our Wi-Fi because she didn't have any internet at home and needed to obviously do her classwork. So she would be one of those great candidates to check a hotspot out too. So yeah, so that was exciting news to get this money.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
Anything
Sammy,
else?
did you say we received that grant that you applied for? Is that what you just said?
No, this is a different one. This came through the state library. The state library received some library funding through a CARES Act, and Coos Bay qualified. It was tied to the recognized tribes in Oregon and where they were, and as Coos Bay is part of that area, and so due to a combination of that and our poverty level, our percentage of broadband available, and some other factors, we qualified and ended up getting that grant.
How much was it, Sammy?
Just over $13,000.
Okay.
And would you describe for me what a hotspot kit is?
It's basically a little stick you put in your computer, and it provides you with internet. It operates much like cell phone data.
Okay. It's like a dongle?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, kind of. Yeah. You plug it in, turn it on, and you've got internet. As long as there's a cell phone tower that it can connect to.
Sammy, ballpark, what does that cost monthly? Like about $30 a month, or do you know?
Well, we can go through. We have go through the government contracts, and we get it for a little bit less. I'm working with them right now to get a fix on a price now that we know the number we need and that kind of thing.
Okay. Do you anticipate our having like half a dozen of those or just one? Or
Well, we're going to do 10 kits.
That's good to hear. I think there's people who could really benefit from that.
As soon as the word gets around, there'll be more. So we'll want them.
That's good. That's fine. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Will you check them out like for 3 days or a week, or how will
We
that
haven't
work?
determined that yet. We have to.
Okay.
That's part of. We said just receiving it this morning. We have to get our plan together now.
Okay.
in more
I'd like to
detail.
hear more about it when you know more, maybe at the next board meeting or sometime later this year.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Because I use my cell phone for that all the time.
Right. It's essentially the same thing. Would be like you can turn your cell phone into hotspot. It's
Well, because I don't like using public Wi-Fi just for any number of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sammy, you said that example that you gave us was somebody that needed it for school?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, then it wouldn't be something that they would be able to just check out for 2 or 3 days. It'd be something they'd need during the school year. Do you know, have you worked at all with the school district, the Coos Bay School District, to see how we can integrate those kind of Wi-Fi services with what they're doing?
Not the Wi-Fi services, but we've been in contact with them about other services that we have available that they can use. I can't remember. I think she was a 3rd grade teacher had contacted us about her class being able to read all the same books. So we referred her to our Hoopla to choose something out of there. That way all the class could read at once. So we've been doing things like that. But this will be another service that we will let them know about so that, students, if they need something, can get it.
So I think a big concern a lot of us have are that the online schooling, a lot of kids still probably don't have access to the internet or computers or whatever. And I'm sure the school district has worked really hard on that, but if there's any way we can facilitate that, that sure would be good.
Yeah, that's kind of our hope that it will fill some of that need too.
Anything else on your librarian's report that you wanted to highlight, or do any of you have any questions for Sammy on that report?
I have a question on the impact of COVID on circulation numbers.
Uh-huh.
It says it ended at 72%. Do you have any, off the top of your head, idea of what the percentage was prior to April?
Oh,
It's okay.
no, but I can find that out easily. I know that with the sudden drop off there, it made a huge impact, but I can check and see what it was prior to that.
And I have a comment that it looks like, at 42%, it looks like you're doing better than most of the nation, it says. And I think that would be something that's good to publicize.
And my very unscientific poll. Yeah, it was just, it was good to see that we weren't, we hadn't bottomed out kind of thing compared to some other places. So.
It's just kind of a piggyback on our discussion last meeting about there was some negativity about maybe libraries weren't needed anymore. And, if we go for a library bond, that would be something good to point out that at least the citizens here really think it's still important.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, and I actually think that number would be even a little bit higher if they were really aware of all the stuff that's available to them. So,
yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Not right now.
Sammy, I noticed on here we had a couple of programs, Good for You lifestyle programs, and also the vaccines for adolescents. A lot of the programs, you put the numbers like attendees. I noticed there weren't any attendee numbers for those two categories.
The vaccine ones we recorded and we've put up on our YouTube channel, and it has been getting, actually we put up 2 different places. We put it up on Facebook and we put it up on our YouTube channel, and people have been watching them.
And I noticed we're doing one again with a SWAC professor in physics.
Yes, that's tomorrow night.
Now, is that a Facebook live stream as opposed to?
No, that's going to be a Zoom meeting. And it's a first of 3. He's doing one with us. He's doing one with North Bend, and then he's doing one. It's like a 3-part series, and then he's doing one at SWAC. So,
okay. So since it's a Zoom meeting, do they have to sign up ahead of time for that?
there's a link that's included with the information on our website on how to get in.
Okay.
Do you have a limit on the number of that can attend that Zoom meeting, or an expectation for how many there might be?
It's 100 limit is what our Zoom will hold.
Who keeps track of the attendee numbers, or the number of people that sign up? Does our library do that, or what?
As for this program, for the
Yes.
Mars program? Yeah, we'll
Yes.
keep track of how many people are there.
No, how many people sign up in order to go there? So do you know ahead? Do you know
Yeah, we
ahead
can
of time?
see it. We can see it on the Zoom. We can see them linking in.
Well, I think the sense of Bob's question was, how do you know if you can get into it?
Oh, well, we are recording it, and we'll put it up on our YouTube channel for
Oh, okay. Thank you.
later viewing.
I was on a Zoom meeting with DeFazio this week, and I think I had seen there were 60 people on it.
Well, it'll be interesting. So
I'm sure there were 600, Bob, not 60.
Missed a 0, right?
oh, KE, you're on. I didn't see your little thing down.
I've been on all along.
How could you be so quiet?
She had her mute on.
It may have been 6,000, Kathy.
Yeah, could have been.
Okay. Well, I had a couple of questions, Sammy, from the minutes, and I don't know if you had a chance to check or not. Steve last time asked how much we were insured for.
Yes, I have those answers for you. Hang on here just a second. Okay, as far as insurance goes, the building is valued at $5,129,400.
Okay.
Its contents are valued at $4,350,411. And then we have the art collection is valued at just over $50,000.
Cool.
So we're right at about 10 million altogether.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's insurance through a private company, Sammy?
That is through CIS, city county insurance.
And I can understand the building part. I mean, about how they come up with the value. How did they come up with the value for the contents?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I know that's a silly question, but I think of like the Oregon collection and stuff. There are some books in there that are quite valuable and probably maybe even irreplaceable.
They are irreplaceable.
And so I don't know if they just say, well, you have 10,000 books, so we give a value per book, and that's what they do it. Whether or not that's really replacement value of the collection.
I can ask her how they value the contents, because I really don't know.
Are the premiums something that comes out of our budget, or does the city cover that some other way?
It comes out of that's that insurance line item you see every year in the budget.
Yes. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's what even brought up the question last time we saw that there was that insurance.
Yeah.
Well, another one that was in there was that darn Steve was talking about tutorial or a brochure for Hoopla.
Yes, we have a video up on both our YouTube site and our Facebook. Both have a tutorial video to Hoopla.
And I can't see if the ESO line got squared away because we don't have the budget money.
Well, I pointed that out to them and they are fixing it.
Okay, cool.
I have a question about Hoopla because I use an iPad, and my new iPad normally sits on this little what did you call it? Whatever, it was a portfolio thing with a keyboard, but it sits on its side. And Hoopla doesn't like that. Hoopla only goes in portrait mode.
Oh.
That's
So-
interesting, James, because I use Hoopla on my iPad and I get it in landscape mode and or portrait mode.
Wow, maybe there's some setting I don't know about.
Maybe Tyler knows.
I'll explore on my own, but thanks for the clue.
Yeah, I did update it fairly recently, but I don't recall it ever being an issue. I updated the app, the Hoopla app, but even before that, I don't remember ever, because I use, just like you, use my iPad, if not 100%, but as much as I possibly can in landscape versus portrait.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll take a look. Because I haven't. I just got the app on there, but when I changed my iPad from the old model to the new one, I reloaded all of those apps, and it's still that way. It's always been that way on my iPad. So I thought maybe it was just that way.
And just as a footnote, James, a footnote for you is, you're probably aware that they offer multimedia movies, for example, and if you have a Roku or an Amazon Fire or any other streaming modulator, they have channels. So, for example, on my TV, I use Roku, and I stream Hoopla movies on my television through my internet connection. Yeah. So and it's it comes out fine, high definition. It's all good.
Okay. The electronic weeds.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Sure.
Sammy, I had one other thing from last time. We made a recommendation to the city that Frances Smith be nominated for the county board. Did she get nominated and appointed?
It from our council, it goes over to North Bend Council for their approval, and then is sent to the county. What's that?
Sure, it couldn't be easy.
No, of course not. And then it gets sent up to the commissioners who do the final approval. It is somewhere between North Bend and the county at this point. The North Bend had it on their agenda, and now it's moved up to the county, which will be on their agenda. So,
So it can take 3 months.
Maybe. Only 2.
I can tell you that the Coos Bay City Council passed it unanimously in a hurry for you.
They did. They were right on top of it.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks, Rob. I know you pushed that.
And in a related note, Mr. Moore's re-nomination.
And I got a thank you call from the city today about that.
Yep.
Thank you for your service and congratulations. Welcome back.
Exactly. So that did not have to go through North Bend and then the county. So here's as much.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else on the librarian's report or questions for Sammy or in the weeds electronic.
One little thing. Last night also our story walk was approved for Mingus Park, where we're going to put separate a storybook and put it throughout the park, so as the kids walk through the park, they can also read a story.
Cool. Good. Yeah, and I saw the city approved putting in one of the little book libraries that Annie had proposed for Mingus Park too. So that's good. Okay. Friends of the library report. We don't have Marie with us. Did she have anything to report through you, Sammy?
We had a board meeting board meeting. Sorry, it's been a long week already. We had a book sale on the 12th September, and we made $347.50. The next one will be October 3rd, 10 to 1.
And that's the books on the curb that you guys just bag up. Yeah, Maria talked to me about that, and my understanding is that those are really friend sales because the library can't do it per se.
Yeah, they're friend sales. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know I will tell you this from talking to Marie. They feel bad because they usually donate a considerable amount of money to the library every year, and not being able to have the regular book sales, they feel bad about that. So
well, they don't need to feel bad. It's not their fault.
Okay, foundation report. Who wants to give that?
Bob does.
Steve does. He talked first.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Sorry, or was I? I don't think so.
No,
Okay. I apologize. I was thinking of the Monday meeting for the committee that's going to do the fundraiser, devil in the details part of it. But let's see. Trying to reflect on that. I may be having a senior moment. I mean, didn't we already talk last month about approving an online event for fundraising in October, on the 31st of October?
Yeah, that's basically what that meeting was about, Steve.
Yeah, okay.
It was really just talking about that. And the Monday meeting just firmed that up a little bit. I will tell you that the library staff has been doing yeoman's work in getting some of the things arranged for us. And any of you that aren't on the foundation board, if you have some things that you think would be worth auctioning at our virtual fundraiser, I'm sure Sammy would be interested in hearing from you and in getting those too. But we're looking forward to it. It's October the 31st. We're involving Black Market Gourmet, and they're going to be doing takeout meals, and some auction items will be there for review. Sammy's set up, with the library, set up a bidding site so people can bid on that. We have a speaker who's going to talk about murders in Oregon. Is that right, Sammy?
Well, he wrote a book, Murder and Mayhem, and I can't remember if it was in Portland or in Oregon, but he's a crime historian. And then he's going to briefly talk about his book, but he's going to focus on a local historic crime that happened out at South Slough in about 1912, I believe.
Yeah. So part of this virtual fundraiser will have him. He'll be pre-recorded for that, but then he will be live to answer questions after the presentation. So the people that have bought tickets and are online will be able to ask him a number of different questions as well. So a meal with Black Market Gourmet, auction items that people can bid on online, a presentation by a speaker with a question and answer period. So it should be fun. It should be
Sammy,
good.
For baskets, are you still needing any bottles of hooch, or are you already pretty well?
That's a loaded question, Steve. She needs bottles of hooch, but they may never show up on the auction.
Yeah, I told her she could dip into the one I brought by today, and she's a little scandalized.
Today I was carrying around one in each hand, so you know.
That crystal, you gotta watch out for her.
What is the date for that?
The
October
date of the
31st.
event is October 31st.
Halloween.
Trick or treat.
So, and we're planning on having a couple foundation members down at Black Market Gourmet because the auction items will be there, and just to help out a little bit too. So it should be fun.
Do you have a deadline for receiving auction items?
Well, yes and no.
That goes.
Because we're doing it all online, I mean, we could literally put one up that day, but the sooner the better. We're starting to gather. Carol and I are going to work Friday morning on starting some of the baskets together, but probably mid-October would be the latest, really, to get stuff.
Yeah. What they're doing is they get those things together, they're posting them to the bidding site. And so as publicity goes out, people should be able to look at those items, Sam, at the bidding site. Yeah. And then the idea is we add a few new things in there too, maybe we can continue interest in having people going back to that bidding site. So
Are you going to, or are they going to have it online? Like, can you bid for multiple days, or is it just going to be one day deal?
No, we are opening the auction up. I believe I have it set to open up the first or second week of October, and then people can just keep bidding right up till, I think, 11:59 on the 31st.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is Alyssa. What platform are you using for the auction?
Bidding Owl.
Bidding Owl? Okay. Do they have other options? Like, can you do raffles through them as well? And like, there's like crowdfunding and all the other
I believe they have a raffle feature, and then not sure about the crowdfunding.
Okay. Is this the first time that you guys have used this platform?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just on a bunch of other boards and I'm looking at different platforms. I found Event Groove to do a raffle for the Friends of Public Health.
Okay.
So I was just wondering if you had any experience with that. But
no, I surveyed a bunch of other libraries to see what they, if they had any experience with any of them, and then really took a look at the fees too, who charges what type of thing. So, and Bidding Owl kind of came out with the lowest fees and as pretty good flexibility for what we needed.
right on.
Okay. Cool. Old business. I see we don't have any. Okay. Library's all good. The walls aren't falling in.
Not today.
We're supposed to get rain here shortly. So.
Yeah, we'll see how what happens after that. Now it's good and dried out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the cracks have opened up.
Okay. And new business, I see we don't have any on there. Do you have anything,
I actually
Sam?
have one thing that we need to add that we forgot when we were approving. I think we forgot another holiday. So I want to make sure December 26th gets approved. I'm not sure if we did that or not, but we can do it again. Okay.
I didn't.
That's the Saturday, obviously, after Christmas. And so we forgot.
I move we approve that Saturday.
Second.
All those in favor of approving Saturday, December the 26th as a holiday day for the library, say aye.
There's a closed day.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Sammy, I guess that takes care of that part of it.
Thank you.
Did any of the rest of you have any other new business regarding the library that you want to talk about?
Questions. I have two questions.
Go ahead.
One of them has to do with traditionally, I know I have been one of those people who runs to the library to drop off my ballot, and I didn't know if there was going to be some provisions made so that I wouldn't have to wait in line or something. You could, because I wasn't one of the 6 people going in. So I am a little concerned that we have something there that people can access at least while library staff is there easily without maybe having to go in, where the drop-off ballot site was right on the outside of the door or something like that. So
What we want to,
I'm working with the.
Sammy, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, that's fine.
We are working with the county. I'm working with the county to figure out if we can, because the drop box needs to be chained in place, and traditionally they chain it to our bench when it's out there at night on that last night. So I'm working with them to see if we can figure out a way to have it in the lobby all the time, and then figure out a way because it does have to be watched. So I am working with the county on that. In the meantime, what I have been telling people who have called is that we're unsure about the library at this point, what hours and stuff, but I've been pushing the fact that there's that permanent one in front of City Hall.
Right.
Right.
People that one will be there, will always be open. So kind of doing a 2-prong attack there.
Good plan.
It's just a half a block away, so.
That's true. I wouldn't even mind seeing a permanent one in front of the library, but that's just input. My other question has to do with these cities that have burned. Is there any library that's needing help, or is there something we could do that you know of?
That has not come out yet. I know that Oregon Library Association is watching, but I think it's almost too soon at this point because they wouldn't have anywhere to put anything at this point. I'm sure after things get a little further along and a little more contained, and there will be, I'm sure, some drives for books and other such things coming out as soon as they figure out the wheres and whats of it all.
Okay. Thank you.
I just to add to Peggy's thing about the ballot box. I hope you can work out something for the ballot box at the library. Although I know there's the tournament one at City Hall as well. I've always kind of liked the library one because I figured it was protected and in a building as far as element is concerned, as far as vandals are concerned. You know, so I hope we can work something out there too. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I think we should be able to come, you know, something. But it would be nice then to have it out in the lobby so people can just run in, drop it off, and leave, and not have to do like Peggy said, stay in line and all that jazz.
I have heard on national news when people have tried to assuage feelings about not getting a ballot, and that you can go to your libraries. You know, they use that generically, and since we always have, because we've always been able to go in, I just thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Okay. Anything else the rest of you have? Okay. I guess there aren't any other announcements other than we have James again for X number of years.
Four.
We need 4? Yeah. Okay. We need to set a meeting time for next month in October.
21st.
Yep.
Okay.
What time? What hour?
5:15.
Same time as usual, James. 5:15.
No. Ask that young Crystal lady back there what time her email said. Okay, 5:15.
And again, James, that's when they set these things up, they can't set them up in quarter-hour increments.
Oh,
they have to
that's
set
right.
it up like at 5. So,
Yeah.
but if you come on at 5, James, I'll talk to you. I'll be here.
Well, you know, I just got to get to the email with a link that's active. There was 4 emails there, and I picked the one that wasn't working.
Well, I was trying to give you some variety.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll call this meeting done and adjourned. Okay. Thank you all for logging in. I appreciate it.
All right.
One of these days we'll get together face to face.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.